Coming up, the winds of change are here. I sit down with Russ William from Windy Brews to talk their then, now, and the future. The Buffalo Brews podcast starts now. Welcome, everyone. It's that time of the week, Brews Day, and you know what that means. I'm Jason Ettinger, your host, and thank you for joining me today, just as you do each and every Tuesday. With the continued road toward normalcy, I'm hoping that you're all being able to put the activities of being cooped up at home behind you and instead getting out and getting away and getting things done. I encourage you to go out now, make plans and make memories and make it your own, and most importantly, as I tend to say like a broken record, make it your own path. I steered away from the whiskeys and bourbons that I typically drink, and I'm sitting here drinking a Solar Winds Pineapple Jalapeno Cream Ale from Windy Brew. It is a classic American cream ale that is brewed with a pineapple puree and roasted jalapenos, and it's made with Galaxy and Mosaic hops. Now, some of you may be pondering that, and some people may be turning their nose up at it, but I encourage you to try this. On my initial sip, you definitely get the pineapple flavor right up front, but it isn't the heat that you get from the jalapenos, but rather the spiciness that goes along with it. And shockingly, to me, on the first sip, it was a welcome combination. So I'm about halfway done with this right now. Actually enjoying this after getting back from my interview that I had with Russ William at Windy Brews, which you're going to hear in a few moments. I went out there for a few hours today after hiking about 7 miles on the Finger Lake trails. Sat down and had a conversation with Russ, and one of their delicious pizzas that they have on hand. This month's special that you'll also hear in the interview is steak pizza. I highly encourage you to go out there and enjoy some time at Windy Brew. They're located at 733 Route 20A in Strikersville. As you know, I completed the Western New York Winter Hiking Challenge in mid-March and wasted no time signing up for the Summer Challenge that's going on from the end of March through the middle portion of November. So we have been planning and taking on some of the hikes for the Summer Challenge, starting with last weekend, which would have been Easter weekend. We started on Saturday by heading out to Emery Park and taking in 4 miles out there. I had been to that park before, but she had not. And we both are fascinated by water and waterfalls, and we like to be around it. Emery Park has a great opportunity to see lots of water up close or from up high. The photo opportunities are fantastic. So we spent a few hours down there hiking around the water, getting some great photos, going on and off trail to discover new areas, and still have the opportunity to go back at another time and take in some more of the trails. The following morning, we got up super early before the crack of dawn, and we drove out to the Beaver Meadow Conservancy Park and did about 4.5 miles there and did the trail in reverse because I wanted her to take in the sunrise over Beaver Pond. When I was there over the winter, the pond had been completely frozen over, and I had the park to myself, and it was great seeing the sunrise there and standing out at the far point of the pond that overlooks the water. And as the sun would come up, you could hear the ice creaking as the surface of the ice would warm with the sunshine. Now, obviously, it's the summer challenge, and the pond was no longer frozen over, but we captured some I shouldn't say we. She was the photographer. She captured some fantastic photos, some of which I will drop on the Facebook and Instagram site that shows the sunrise over Beaver Pond. We took in the trail in reverse from the recommended trail that was given to us for the challenge. And then when we circled back around, we realized that we were still the only car in the parking lot, and it had been almost 3 hours. So here it is Easter Sunday, and realizing, okay, well, everybody's at Easter service, and we have over 500 acres of park to ourselves, so we started wandering around and taking in more trails. And now that the sun was fully up, we went back down by the Beaver Pond and took in a completely different view with more birds and and more sounds going on around us as all the animals had woke up. So that was Easter Sunday for us. A fantastic start to the winter hiking challenge. And we'll be back out in a week or so to take in more. Growing up in Sherman, it was not uncommon for wildlife shows to be on the television on a fairly common basis, especially on the weekends when we were winding down. I always remember shows such as Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, Wildlife Adventures with Marty Stauffer, and one of the stars that we used to see on TV a lot that had more of a kid's feel was Jungle Jack Hanna. Now, this is in the days before the Crocodile Hunter, and Jungle Jack was a staple of the Columbus Zoo from the late 70s, right around the time I was about, I would say, 6, 7 years old. And he left there in about 1992, and he had still served as a director emeritus to the zoo. In a news release from last week, his family states that Jack has been suffering from dementia and is going to officially retire from public life. And they said that it is believed that he has Alzheimer's disease, and it's quickly progressed within recent months. Jungle Jack Hanna is 74 years old now, and he was a huge advocate for improved wildlife habitats, and he focused on connecting the community with animals. So Jack has 3 daughters that are basically the spokesperson for the family, and they've been very supportive of his career and his contributions over the period of his life. And I believe, if I remember from the news last year, I think he had finally retired from the zoo in 2020. I remember watching Jungle Jack growing up on a lot of, like I said, kids' platforms, children's shows. I always loved when he was a guest star on Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and he was always putting a great face on the Columbus Zoo, which to this day is one of the most attended zoos in the United States. It is still a goal of mine to go there, and it was the goal to go there knowing that it was the home of Jungle Jack Hanna. He was the guy that you would always see on television and in photos, those signature khakis, Jack Hanna's Animal Adventures. I remember from about the time I was probably about 18, 19 years old. And then Jack Hanna's Into the Wild, which I watched for a little while in the late 2000s. And then another show that ran as he was older that was called Wild Countdown. I only saw a few episodes of that myself, but they stated that his health had been deteriorating quickly, that they wanted everybody to know that he still had a great sense of humor intact, which you saw that come through time and time again in television shows. So he really spent his life connecting people and wildlife, and because he believed that people seeing and experiencing the animals were, and it was really a key to engaging impactful conversation. And I always look back at my father and all the things that I learned about wildlife and being in the woods, and I contribute a lot of that to those shows that we would watch on TV, but as a kid relating more to Jungle Jack. So, in his continued years, best of health to him and his family, and seriously, thank you, Jungle Jack, for your contribution to my childhood. All right, Jason, you've gushed on long enough about Windy Brews. Now, tell us about it and give us the interview, for the love of everything holy. I'm going to read this directly from their website. When it states about Windy Brew that it's opened as a family-run business with a passion and love for beer, and started out with a beer kit as a gift that was given to Bill, that turned into buying a kettle and going to a full grain brewing hobby. They had thought it was time to share their love with others, and the dream was to give people a home brewing experience, and recently that dream had become a reality. New York State allows patrons at the time to come in to use equipment, supplies, and recipes to build their own beer for the home brewing experience. And they're located out in Strikersville, where you could see a great tap room that I've described in a previous episode, where you see the house, you see the garage, but once you round the corner, you see the front of the brewery and tap room, and then you walk into a completely different and homey atmosphere. I can't encourage you enough to go out there and visit them. Their tap room has beers on tap from light ale, seasonal brews, too many styles of IPAs to really even count, and there's something for everyone to taste. They offer flights, pints, growlers, 16-ounce cans to go. If you're looking for a half or a sixth keg, they offer them for sale with request and deposit. Now, with some of that information that I did give you, there have been some changes as a result of COVID. You'll hear those changes in this interview that's coming up right now with Russ William from Windy Brew. What started the conversation for me was the story on your site about the gentleman who came in and kind of gave you folks heat about the PTSD.
Yeah.
And during my last visit, I talked a little bit with Michelle, and Michelle talked to me about how it originally was marketed in stores, but again, you caught heat for it, for the name.
Yep.
And is it yourself or is it Bill who's the Afghan?
It's Bill. Yeah, it's Bill. Yeah, so we're in a bar. We'll self-distribute everything. So we were in a bar. I won't mention names or anything like that, but I don't remember if it was a lady or a gentleman came in and just started chewing out them for having it on and saying that we were abusing the name, and really didn't know the story behind it. And it was one of the things that we kind of take personally. And we shot a message out one time, and then it kind of died down, and we didn't have any problems, and we stopped really distributing it just because we don't want people to think that we're just abusing it when we actually have a real message behind it. And then it popped up again a couple weeks ago. You reached out to us and told us about, and we started going back and forth. And it's really not, we're just trying to bring awareness to it and what we do for it. So obviously, Bill, this is kind of how this whole business at brewery started. Bill was literally brewing and, turned it into a business, which is awesome. We started on those little pots and came from that. And that's what really helps Bill. And he just wants to give back to everyone that's helped him. And we donate a portion of every pint, growler, can to Pets for Vets, which hooks up a rescue animal with a vet that is dealing with PTSD. And it's kind of our way of kind of supporting and helping everyone that helped us do what we do.
That's wonderful. Well, like I said, I'm a vet myself. My son's active duty, and I do a lot of work with veterans organizations around the area. I'm actually a team leader for Team Red, White, and Blue. So I do work with them, and I work for the federal government, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Oh, you understand. But being able to connect with veterans on so many different levels. With Team RWB, it's more of folks who are transitioning out of the military, and then they don't. It beats sitting around, to be able to get out and get active, socialize with other veterans. Team RWB, we have a lot of runners, we have a lot of cyclists. So a lot of people sometimes think it's all physical, but it's not. It's really the social aspect of it. And a lot of people just don't understand what PTSD is about. Yeah. When President Obama was doing the troop pullout in 2012, I think it was, the job I had at the time, I had to process a lot of the troops that were coming home, and they're debriefs for their mental health evaluations.
All right. So
and people just don't understand. They think that because there's a label on it, that it has to be strict to their rhetoric, when they don't realize that there's an inside meaning to it. We're not making fun of it.
No, definitely not. No, it's more about the awareness. We were gonna for Veterans Day, we were gonna have a bunch of Bill's former friend, like everyone that was with him in the military, they were gonna come in. We were gonna do a whole batch. Yakima Valley, I think, or someone has Veterans Blend, and we use it all the time as a great blend. We were gonna do a massive batch or massive flow out on it, have all that fun stuff, but we just, COVID hit, and we couldn't really do much with it. So
Right. And with forgot to take that picture before.
that's all right.
That's all right. That just means I'm gonna have to get another flight later.
Darn, that's tough.
I know, twist my arm. Right. So with your brewing process now, PTSD was the first.
No, to be honest, the first beer was American Ale. Bill was brewing that in his kitchen, and the shell kicked him out of the kitchen and into the garage. So that's how that kind of started. And then he came up with that recipe. It's a 100% local grain hop recipe. So no, it's kind of a way of giving back to our local community as well and putting us back on the map with that. It's nice to be a farm brewery and see it come from, field to pine or farm to pine.
Another item that comes up when we talk about basically farm to table breweries. It's can you explain the definition of that? A lot of people don't understand that.
Oh man! So as far as we go, we have to have so much local supplies in our grain, and we need to have. If we do a local brew, because we have both licenses, we have a farm brewery and we have a microbrewery license. So if we're doing a farm brew, it has to be 60% local, which we make it just 100%. Then we don't even have to worry about it. It's very fun. You use a little more grain, but at the same time, it works just as good as the other stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just got to be a certain percentage. I'm pretty sure it's like 60 to 100%.
Very few breweries in the Western New York area actually are farm.
There's probably 12 of us, I think. I don't know if I know it's us. I know us, Rusty Nickel, 5 and 20, Big Inlet, Lilybell Mead is, Joshua of West Shore. I know Ryan down at Gene McCarthy's loves using local stuff. He's always tinkering around with stuff there. And I know there's who else? I know I'm missing someone. I think Pressure Drop might be somehow. I think they have that license, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't talked to Carl on that. But I know there's a solid group of us that all kind of we banded together in the fall and made Oh Fudge. I don't know if you got your hands on it, but it was 100% local. We even used, oh my God, what's the kid's name at Lilybell? They got their hands on some cocoa leaves, and we pulled that in to get it a little more chocolatey, but that was 100% local, everything. So it was basically, yeah. And it turned out well, so we don't have any more cans, so sorry, I can't share one of it.
That's okay. And then the newest collaboration you have, what was the
Well, it's just a blackberry cheesecake sour with First Line down in Orchard Park. They just opened back up. They're expanding exponentially, which is awesome.
that new indoor facility they just opened up this.
Yeah, I actually took a tour of it last Saturday. We were there hanging out, talking about what their plans are and stuff. And they did the same thing as us. We got the new brew house over there. They did the same thing. They got the new brew house in there. They're tinkering around with that, but they were happy just to stop canning because they didn't have a canning line, and it was all hand cans and this, that, and the other thing. It was, oh wow.
And as I understood, they both of them were work-at-homes who were working from the brewery and trying to do the canning work and
their own work during COVID. Yeah, during COVID. Yeah, they were. I'm pretty sure they were a Kickstart before COVID happened, and then they opened up. It was really funny. I was coming back from a trip, and I just swung in there the one day because my friend had told me about it, and I was just gonna go talk to them, see how they were and stuff like that, if they need anything. And we hit it off, and then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, let's throw a collaboration together. So the next one will be over there, thankfully, and they can do all the work. and not me this time. But they're super good dudes. Shane and Mike really do a good job over there, so I would definitely hit them up if you can too.
Good. We'll get down there. We'll get down there at some point. What's now, as a brewer, you have a particular favorite that you like to make, that you enjoy making?
Right now, I mean, it's getting into the lighter season. I mean, sours are always fun because I can play around with them on the back end once they get done. Um, but I'm kind of leaning trying to get like a couple new IPAs going, just different flavors. We've been, toying around with new hop flavors and new hop combinations. Um, I do enjoy doing the barrel aged stouts. We just got into that, a little heavier. The first one I did, we somehow messed up and it turned out well. It was a broken turbine and it was like the perfect timing for the name because the one up there on the hill broke. It like literally blew up in a windstorm.
I think I saw that coming down the hill here. It looked like one of the blades was sheared right.
Yeah, it blew up. It was, I think my buddy who works on him told me it was like 112-mile-an-hour wind that hit it, like a gust or something up that high. So, yeah, we had it in the barrel, we tasted it, and it was fruity. And I was like, man, it was supposed to be our Lightning Blonde Stout. And it was fruity, and we pushed it over, and it almost like sour aled on us, and it became a wild. But it tasted good. It took a little longer to sell. It was a little high ABV, but people enjoyed it. It was just tough to just do to-goes on it.
Okay.
Because no one wanted to sit here and just hammer away. So
The night that I first came in here was the night of your 4th anniversary.
oh, the thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. So Michelle was going around and giving little taste days. Now Michelle was so kind about this, so she promised her
What is Gracie's? What kind of beer?
Ale, amber ale, maple amber with blueberries.
Ale.
Happens all the time.
Oh, hey, that's why you're here.
Exactly.
What was I? And the first time I was here, so Michelle was going around and she was, it was a non-labeled bottle.
Yeah.
She was giving everybody taste and stuff. And I asked her if I could take a picture of in one of the bottles. Then I didn't post it until after, and then I forgot to post it after the weekend. But that was phenomenal.
Thank you.
What a fun spin on a Russian Imperial.
Yeah, so that aged, it was like a 90-day age. I know it was a little short on some people said it was a little too short. They were worried about it. But it was at like a 90-day age about, and maybe I rushed it, but I have enough. I have another barrel coming out soon. I'm not going to give it away.
Don't give it away.
No, because it's coming out soon. Gonna do a nice little spin, so we'll see which one I like more. If the aging helps. And then we just took and I actually repurposed that barrel. I pulled the thunderstorm out. I took a shot in the dark, and we'll see if it works out again. Did the same base Imperial and spiked it a little higher. Threw some adjuncts in right away just to try it. Probably could have waited a little longer, but we'll see how it turns out. They might work out better than I think.
You drive out here.
Yeah, of course. No, of course. But that actually might, unfortunately, that might actually get pulled quicker than I wanted to, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So you enjoy making the sours,
Oh, yeah.
and then one of the big questions I've been asking around to pretty much everybody I've been talking to is in regards to COVID itself. When everything happened, when the pandemic started, when the shutdown happened, it affected everybody, on the level. It affected everybody the same.
Yeah.
But everybody was able to react to it differently. How did you guys?
So we took a week off just to kind of gather ourselves and see if it was actually going to be a long time or if it was just going to be like, all right, we can shut down and we'll reopen. So then we went from there, and it ended up being, all right, we got to figure out how to do to go. And then, you had to have one way in, one way out. Everyone's got to call in. And we did that till the summer, whenever we could open up. And as soon as we could get open where we could do pints, we used our garage door behind you. We used that as our entrance, and we used this as our exit. And we had to rope it all off. And we would put people out on there, and it was super good because the SLA said you could draw us a map of your place, whatever you want to be available to use. Basically, outside, tables 6 feet apart. Keep all the rules there. Have it all roped off. Be very strict because you don't want the health department coming in and shutting you down or nailing you with a fine. So we basically took our whole brewery property and made it available to drink. So if you wanted to sit in the parking lot on your tailgate, you could drink there, and it would be all right. And then as the season went on, we ended up buying a massive tent, and we started putting people in the tents. We got sides for the tents. It worked out great. And then we slowly, once we were able to open in here, we started doing both, but we still offered to go the entire time, which I will tell you right now, I hate hand canning, and Michelle will yell at me because I tell her I want a canning line all the time. But after seeing what goes into a canning line, I still kind of want one. I just don't want to be in charge.
I saw some operations where they're literally one can at a time, and I can't imagine that 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day. Just talk about monotonous work.
Well, the thing was, it was a lot of growing pains because it was like, okay, let's make a 12-pack of every can. 12 times 21 turns out to be a lot. I can't do the math in my head. Pull my calculator out, but that's what we would do. And then we would find out that certain ones weren't selling, but they were still selling. And then other mainframes were like, if you don't make us 30 of these cans, you're going to be screwed in one night. So we finally figured it out. We got a tracking sheet together. And as it went, we kind of figured that, all right, our staples have to be, we have to have 27 cans of a staple or 24, and then slowly cut down. I think our biggest sellers were Sheldon Bush, PTSD, American, our sour, our habanero lime cream ale had come out at that point, so that was selling. The farmer's juice, it was, it was nice. We could still do growler fills. We just had to clean the Everland crap.
Yep.
So that was one way we did it. We were offering specials as much as we could. We would do some 4-pack specials. If you get these 4, but then people would call, be like, well, I want to pull this out, and it'd be like, all right, we'll do it as long as you're not putting, something else that was like in that pack, and just to try and spice it up and get some of this beer made, because we just didn't want to sit on it. We did sit on some beer for a little too long, consider from our perspective, but it did still all sell.
And then one of the operations that you do here that's still been shut down as part of COVID.
Yeah.
So that is your looking at my notes here. Where is it at here? Your Western New York's first custom brew center.
Yeah.
And I saw one of the videos online that Bill and Michelle put together for basically like a little school. And it was, but you haven't been able to get that back up and running as of yet.
Yeah, so it's super tricky as far as that goes. We're working on a plan to do it as soon as we can. I know if I don't get a call or a text or a message, when can I come brew, or when are you guys starting that brewing stuff? 2 to 3 times a week. I don't know if the brewery's still open or not, to be honest with you. But the plan is once the new brew house is up and going, we're probably gonna work. We have a plan to bring it back. It's just, it won't be as involved. Certain stuff will be kind of already done, kind of already measured out, but you'll still be here. You will still have to do some math. You'll still be, mashing in, stirring around, adding hops, taking the times and everything. It'll look a little different than what it was. So if you've done it before, it's not going to be the exact same, which some of you will probably be like, all right, great, I don't have to grind the grain anymore. Because, that's one thing. Like if I told you to walk back there and touch one grain bin right now, we'd have to completely clean everything, even if you didn't touch it. So those are just the rules. They're not our rules. So we have to adapt and overcome this.
So it's just a big waiting game, right?
Yeah, to be honest with you. And it'll be a little easier once we get the new house open. Once that starts, then this kind of expands a little bit in here, which I'm probably giving a little bit away for everyone that's listening to this. But it'll be super nice once it's all done. Because trust me, we want to start this up again. It's not like, you know, it's something just to do and say, oh, we're the first, and then shut down forever and never do it again. You know, it's fun for us too. It's
The intent, is there. You just gotta get through the logistics right here. Well, when I read about it, and then when I saw the video about it, the first thing I thought was, because I figured you'd already gotten 100 phone calls, 100 messages at least.
Oh,
win. But I'm already like, well, this is something, because I've already been doing notes. I have actually part in the back of my book all about home brewing, and I've actually been talking to some of the brew clubs that are in the Buffalo area, just kind of getting a feel for the land. And then this pushed it right over the edge, because I'm like, oh, so now I can be hands-on, learning from somebody who knows the stuff, and learn the math, learn, you know, how everything works, and then at the end of the process, walk out the door with my creation.
yeah. So that's like the one thing is like, you'll be here for like 3 to 4 hours, and then, you know, you sit, you drink. Hey, sir, do you have a? Yeah, thanks, bud. So you're here for like 3 to 4 hours. I mean, you drink, you eat, you have a good time, you learn from us. We talk to you guys about everything, and then you leave for like 3 weeks, and we take care of everything else. So if you say you want a double dry hopped IPA, we do all the hopping for you in the fermenters. You throw the yeast in, we do everything. We'll carb it. I think we're gonna end up bottling or canning it. It all depends on which direction you want to go there. But yeah, and then we call you back off and you go, hey, here's your stuff. You know, see you later.
Well, I'm starting to smell a Buffalo Brews stiff breeze.
Hey, that's
something.
We can make that happen for sure. For sure.
I already finished the PTSD, which I've already had here, so now I'm moving on to the Gracie's Blueberry Pancake, which is the Sudsy's maple with blueberry habit, right?
Yep. Threw a little blueberry in there, just playing around, seeing how it goes. We used 100% local maple syrup in there. We used 2 different kinds, actually. We used Sidzinski's, and then we used Maple Moon out in Attica.
I haven't lived that one.
Yeah.
Maple Moon?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Maple Moon. Friend of my family's actually, because we couldn't get our hands on any. We like the darker stuff. We like the B grade. It's a little sweeter. It helps out a little more with the beer.
Okay. I know this is a little outside of your realm because you're the brew guy.
Yeah.
But now you got a pizza hat you can put on?
Do I have a pizza hat? Yeah, I can throw the pizza hat on. Go ahead. I mean, I started as a tap handler here, so.
So that's where the conversation piece comes in.
Yeah.
Because your crust is made from the Farmer's Juice New England IPA.
Yep.
Which is unique. I've never heard of that before myself. So the last time I was here, I had just the regular pep and delicious.
Mm.
And then sounds like the popular choice is your Reuben pizza from last month.
Yeah, last month. The Reuben pizza is awesome. Big fan of it. We got a steak pizza on now. We try and rotate it every month or so. Like after May's Cinco de Mayo, so we'll do a taco pizza. It's delicious.
It's April the 10th, and we're talking about a taco pizza for Bernice.
Yeah, those are staples. We usually try and do like a pizza a month. We gotta work on it a little bit better, and have a special every month for that. But normally if there's not a pizza of the month, people are getting chicken finger or white too. They enjoy it. The crust is a little sweeter, so it's a little nicer. I like.
That's what I liked about it. A little sweeter, and I wondered why. And then you'll find out it's that Farmer's Juice for IPA.
Yeah, and they don't need a lot, which is great. So it works out really well for us. We're waiting actually for that guy to come up here. He's supposed to get some more, but I gotta keg it, so hopefully it doesn't come too soon.
And then, with everything said, we were talking a little bit earlier, and you've released a few of the pictures on your social media, but you got You got big things brewing, pardon the fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll be super nice once we get that new system set up. We've got full holding tanks too as well, so we won't have to be brewing as much, but we'll still be definitely getting as much as we can out of it. We're gonna be busy over there tinkering around too. I wouldn't doubt that there's gonna be times where if I want to try a batch of something, it's gonna be back on the brew on premise, but then it'll go right back over there, and that's just gonna help our efficiency too. A normal brew day for me is about 6 to 7 hours after cleanup and all the fun stuff. If you don't clean it, it looks like crap, and then your sticky floors, and I get yelled at by the bosses. So,
Well, it's super info. But yeah, in every interview that I've listened to or I've done myself, everybody says that the cleaning part is the worst. Just the worst job.
That is the one thing I dread every day when I come to brew is like, oh, I'm gonna brew this awesome thing, and then better clean up now, because if I don't clean it the next time, it's gonna screw everything up. So, and everything gets sticky. So, I mean, cleanup's cleanup. What are you gonna do?
Right. And then so a few highlights about the place. Now the time is 1 o'clock. You've been open for an hour.
Yep.
And at one point while we were talking, you had a line literally to the door.
Yep.
And is that typical for Saturday, especially in weather like this?
Yeah, Saturdays, Sundays, everyone wants to get out. Usually, like, if you come tomorrow, it'll be packed too. Sunday, I've been here where people have showed up and asked me for like to-go cans so they can just sit on their tailgate and wait till we open so they can walk in. And most of the time, okay, whatever, go ahead. There's been times where I'm pulling in and people are pulling in behind me, or I'll be back there brewing. I usually try and brew on Sundays now just because school's in session. So I'll brew on Sunday. They'll see the doors open at 9 in the morning and be like, are you open? And I'm like, do I look like I'm open? I'm sweating back here. The burner's on. Like, it's 1,000 degrees. Why would you want to be here right now? So everyone loves coming out here. It's super nice. If you don't know where we are, you'll miss it.
I almost missed it the first time.
Oh, I would.
I'm just looking at the map and I'm looking for the little checkered flag, and I realize it's almost to the peak of the hill, and it's a house next to a garage. And it's got the sign, and the sun was going down when I came here the first time. So then I walk, I'm like, I didn't understand where the door was. And then when you walk around here to the patio space on the side, all of a sudden it opens up into this inviting space. You walk in, it's homey inside, which you wouldn't notice it from the outside. It just looks like it's a modern build garage.
Yep.
And then it explodes into this space, and then I said to
Michelle, Cassie,
the one on the left,
Michelle.
So you notice that you put the screen in.
Yep.
That cycles through everything that you got here.
Yeah, that just happened while I was on spring break. Bill and I threw it up there, and it works really nice. It looks really good. We're gonna, once I get time, because that beer list on the wall is a little not pleasant to look at. I mean, it gets the job done, but we're gonna get those all fixed up and redone and make them look a little.
To me, it's a face of what was.
Yeah.
Now you're jumping into the face of what is to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For
You got the screens. You got we got the new tanks that are mowing in, and so many great creations. Like I said, I have a can of Solar Winds that I'm yet to break open at home.
Yeah.
So that was part of the 1.5 collaboration.
Yep. That was the 1.5 collaboration. We did that in late January, I think, because we had to kind of rush it too, unfortunately. We've talked to them about, giving us a little more time on that. But yeah, we had some people out here and, they helped me out with that stuff. Or COVID wise, we made sure everyone was sanitized and masks on and all the regulations and stuff. I used 10 pounds of peppers total. I think I threw 6 in, and then I threw dry hopped or dry peppered, whatever you want to call it, with 4.
Okay.
And I was super, super worried about how it was going to come out. It's not bad stuff. It's very interesting to see what people get flavor wise. Or I get the spice from the pepper, but I don't get the heat, with like a slight pineapple on the back end, where other people are like, oh my God, it's so pineapple. You're like, okay. So it's very interesting how different people get different flavors out of it.
And I think sometimes it has to do with how people taste a beer as well, because I was always taught put it across your whole tongue and mouth when you. So I was a whiskey guy before I was a ale guy, and that's how I learned to do whiskey, was to learn and get all the sensories in your mouth, and then whatever you do with the second, third sip's up to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna, sweet is on one part of the tongue and sour is on another part and spice is on another part. I guess it's where they're gonna really decide if they're gonna let the beer slide right down.
Yeah. If they're gonna say, "Oh, all right, we're done," or
So, and then and in the last part I got to hit on, because there was two I had. So there was one couple that came in here and they had their Jack Russell Terrier. You're a pet friendly.
Yep, pet friendly.
You're in a brewery.
Yes.
And then my understanding is that Michelle and Bill have 2 or 3 of their own.
2 rescues. Yep.
Okay.
They have 2 rescues. Allie, she's bombing around. I can't even see she's little, but if you go down to her, she'll give you a kiss. And then Gracie's usually waddling around somewhere looking for scraps. Allie's mischievous one to speak of. She will go in purses, get all up in your personal space, but it's all love. She wouldn't harm a fly, to be honest with you.
I love that. And then, the last thing really I wanted to touch on is because when I came here the first time, I didn't know it was the 4th anniversary until Michelle said something.
Yeah.
But you also do your Thursday Thursdays.
Yeah.
And is that where did that originate from?
It was one of those things where really you're just releasing beers at random, and I wanted to have a thing where, one, if you're in the area, you get $1 off all your pints every time you put 4 to 1. One of our flagships, push our flagships out there, and then I usually try and release a beer on that night too. So if you want to try something, you can come out, but you're not going to get hammered if we don't put anything out. Usually, Thursday's a very nice day to release beer, in my opinion, because Saturdays are tough. Thursday, at least, if I release a beer Thursday and they don't catch it till Friday, well, I have Saturday and Sunday to go try it out.
There you go.
And Wednesdays are pizza night, so it's I don't want to overload the girls there and be like, all right, you're doing pizza night. Oh yeah, and on top of it, I'm releasing 2 beers tonight. So good luck.
So you guys got it nice and spread out.
Yeah.
Even. Yeah, doing $1 off is better than having nickel pint night. We're going to have nickel pint night at Windy Brew. I'm pretty sure we'll die if we go to Windy Brew on Thursday on nickel pint night.
Yeah, nickel pint night. I'll give you 1 pint for a nickel, and then we'll go from there.
We'll start with the top of the board with the PTSD of the 6.8, and then we'll just work our way down from there.
I don't think you would get past 8. You would not get past the muddy, I don't think.
Is it now on your Thirsty Thursdays? Is everything available? It's on the board, or is it
It's our flagships.
flagships?
So basically, it's our 1 through 10.
Okay.
And they'll change a little bit. Sheldon's usually in there. It's just off right now. It's just we don't have an open tap. Everyone needs to drink more beer. But usually,
You heard it first. You can get down here, 733 Route 20A in Strikersville. Get down here and drink more beer.
yeah, usually we do our flagships because everyone loves those anyway, so they work out really well.
Thanks again to Russ William for talking with me about Windy Brews and everything that they have to offer. Stop out on a weekday, Wednesday night for their pizza night, Thursdays for their Thirsty Thursdays, or take a drive out on the weekend and take in the food, the beers, the atmosphere, and the conversation. Talk with Bill and Michelle and Russ and get to know their fine staff there and take in a few. I wanted to piggyback also off the front of the interview in reference to their PTSD IPA beer. And I'm someone who works with veterans, and I wanted to let you know that if you are a veteran with PTSD and are in crisis, you have options. Call 911. Go to your nearest emergency room. You can contact the National Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Or you can call the Veterans Crisis Line. It's a number at 1-800-273-8255 and select option 1. or you can send a text to be connected directly to somebody. Send a text to 838255. Know that help is there for you if you are in need. With that, folks, we conclude episode 4 of the Buffalo Brews podcast. We want to let you know to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform and hit that subscribe button. Share it with friends, share it with family, co-workers. You can email us at any time. As always, I love talking to all of you. And join us next week, remembering to go out there with much peace and love, and remember to make your own path. So long.